Hey, welcome everybody. It's Frankie J once again. I'm back for second time in the week. How's everyone doing? I had a great show with Tyrone. I got my boy T.O. here today, and we're going to talk a little bit about some NFL conference finals and how they got there and why they're there. And we're going to go from there. T.O., welcome to the show. Welcome back.
Thanks for having me. Excited for this week of playoffs here.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting week. Obviously, we all know the Bills lost, which they deserve to. They were outplayed, outcoached, as him and I were debating very heavily earlier.
Yeah, we were. That's for sure. I think they got outplayed from top to bottom. I think changes are imminent, and you don't. But that's okay. That's what being a fan is all about: discussion, and sometimes you disagree. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we basically were disagreeing on after you lose one big game, 13-3 season, you lose one big one in the division, and everyone wants to fire everybody. And I'm like, I'm not for that. I'm for firing the correct people, making the right moves. But I'll let him elaborate on his ridiculous idea over here.
Well, I think they definitely need an offensive coordinator. I'll agree with you on that one. It's hard to win these days in the NFL with having a defensive minded coach without a proper offensive coordinator. And I think that's where we need to begin. We're going to lose a couple pieces here this year. Hopefully, we can fill in the right spots and make another run at it. I mean, the main discussion was that we had a problem with was Josh Allen, which I love Josh Allen, but I have moved him from number 2 to the number 3 or 4 quarterback overall
All
in the league.
right. Well, everyone's allowed to have their opinion. I want to welcome Sherry and Kristen to the show. Thanks for being here. It's To and I were debating football and the conference finals. But anyways, To, let's go back to the games that got us to the last four teams. We had the Bills and we had the Bengals in Buffalo, snowy, emotional, all that good stuff was mixed in. And the Bills obviously didn't perform. They stunk. They were absolutely horrible. They had no defense, no offense, and they got outplayed, outcoached. And we were debating about that earlier. So why don't you, real quickly, give me what you thought were the points of that game or the factors of that game, why the Bills lost, why the Bengals won, just real quickly.
Well, it all starts up front in the line. I think the offensive line did not hold up against a three-man rush that the Bengals gave us most of the time, and vice versa. Our line didn't hold up much, and our game plan was terrible. What hurt me the most was first quarter. You take a look, and the camera's facing Josh Allen, and he looks defeated already in the first quarter. And I can't remember a game that I watched this year where I felt that way. Normally, he's up and down, jumping on the sidelines. We didn't get any of that. It just seemed like there was zero emotion, and that's what hurt the most. I feel in a game where everything was supposed to be set up our way, we just didn't even show up. And as a fan, that hurts the most because I do love our team. I think we have a great team. I love Allen. I love Diggs. I do love like McDermott. I just feel like there was no emotion. We looked tired, and that's hard to accept.
Well, let's say this. It's safe to say that they definitely weren't on their game there. But if you look back on the year they had, the adversity, all that kind of stuff, we could talk for hours. But let's talk about the games that are coming up, the games on hand. Obviously, we got the 49ers. We got the lucky Brock Purdy circus going on with his 7-0 record. And then we got over here in the AFC, we got the Chiefs and the Bengals. Bengals going to Arrowhead. Now, I don't think the Bengals have a problem with Arrowhead. In fact, I think they love to play there, like a lot of other teams. Who do you like in that game, and what do you think the Bengals need to do to go into Arrowhead, which is going to be crazy, hostile, loud, all those things, cold, maybe snowing? What do you think? Offensively, do they need to do to go in there and run down their throats like they did here in Buffalo?
No, I think the Bengals are the best team in the AFC. I just think they have to play their game. Even with a healthy Mahomes, I would still take the Bengals. The Bengals this year. I just think they're just a better team. I think they have a lot of weapons. It's going to be tough. I mean, going against Andy Reid, he's a great coach. Now you're going to see what
Big red, baby, big red.
Big Red is a great coach. So, and they have Mahomes. Even on one leg, I'd take him over most of the quarterbacks. But I'm going to take Cincinnati here 27-24.
Well, so you think that you think they're definitely going to go into Arrowhead and have their way?
I do. The only thing that worries me is it's very hard to beat a team 3 times in the same season, let alone 4. So, if the Bengals do win, that would mean they'd beat them 4 times this year. That's really hard to do. But that being said, Joe Burrow, I can't bet against him right now.
We were having this debate earlier on who's better, Josh Allen or Joe Burrow, and who would you take? And we definitely got heated about it. And I said I would take Josh Allen all day, every day. And you kind of found that puzzling. And to me, I'm like, why is that even a second thought? I mean, Josh Allen is a superior quarterback to Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow was able to stay healthy despite bad offensive line play, and he did have his game together where Josh Allen sort of fell apart at the end of the season. So that I agree. Josh Allen fell apart at the end of the season, but it doesn't make him less of a quarterback.
Again, both great quarterbacks. Um, Joe Burrow just seems to me to have better a better mentality and a better understanding of the position, but Josh Allen has better
Okay. Well,
athleticism.
I got to get some input on this. If anybody out there listening has any input on this, if you have the choice to pick your franchise quarterback, do you take Josh Allen or do you take Joe Burrow of the Bengals? I don't even as and he's a Bills fan. This guy, I,
Mhm.
I don't understand it. Who do you take? I would take Josh Allen all day long without even thinking. He's the right guy for this town, and he's amazing. He's amazing.
He's a great quarterback. I mean,
Yeah.
once you get into this top echelon, you can't go wrong with either one. You're asking me a, a strict question here, and I'm just trying to give you the answer that I find off the top of my head. And just watching both of them, both great quarterbacks. I'm glad we have Josh Allen.
Well,
You're asking me if which one do I think's better? I think Joe Burrow is a little better. I think Allen top 3, which is great. You can win with that, but you have to have the pieces there. Joe Burrow sacked the most last year out of any quarterback in the NFL history, still makes it to the Super Bowl. He just seems to see the field better, in my opinion. Allen always wants to go for the deep throw. Burrow, 3-step drop, most accurate quarterback there is. He is the most accurate
all
quarterback.
right. Well, hey, like I said, everyone's, obviously has the right to their own opinion. I would take Josh all day. You take Joe. We figured that out. We'll have to argue about that on another show. But then we go over to the, NFC side. We got the 49ers and the Eagles. 49ers going into Philadelphia. And Philadelphia, we all know, is notorious for hostile environments, downright criminal behavior by their fans. And I mean, what kind of environment do you think they're walking into? And this is where Purdy's going to have his test. He's never played there in that sort of environment.
No, he hasn't. But luckily for Purdy, it isn't all on him. They have a full, complete team. It's going to be a great game. I think San Fran wins. And if you would have asked me this 2 weeks ago, I would have taken the Eagles. But for some reason, I just think San Fran wins. I think we go for a San Fran Cincinnati Super Bowl here.
All right, well, okay. So you like Cincy and you like San Fran.
Hmm.
Cincy and San Fran. I can see it. I just have to see it. I have to see it happen because of the routes, these teams took at some points. I mean, in the beginning of the season, it's fair to say that Cincinnati did not look like they'd be back in this position at this time in the year.
Nope, sure didn't. They lost a bunch in a row. They were being tossed out. And, you get hot at the right time, things fall in place, and here they are. They're a
Yeah.
good team.
Because I recall even when the Rams were plummeting there in the beginning of the season, along with the Bengals, everyone was calling it the Super Bowl hangover, and but the Rams went all the way with the Super Bowl hangover and went to the toilet and started puking, whereas Cincinnati took some aspirin, some caffeine, and Benadryl and got back up and rolling. So, I mean, do they deserve to win? Yes, but does Kansas City deserve to win? Yes, because he lost a huge receiver, Tyreek Hill, and I thought he'd go all the shit losing Tyreek, but he didn't. He stayed good, and they're there. So to me, it's hard to pick who's going to win. Who I want to win, that's a different situation. I want Cincinnati to win. They're closest to home here to Buffalo. Secondly, they've been nothing but courteous to our team and city. So I have to have that in heart. So I like Cincinnati. I want them to win. Are they? I don't know. I have to watch the game. That's one I can't say yay or nay.
No, I agree. That's why we watch the game. I mean, any given Sunday, anything could happen.
All right, Al Pacino.
Well, hey, we're just here. We're just along for the ride.
Friggin' Al Pacino over here any given Sunday, and we fight for those inches, and we claw for those inches, and we tear each other apart for those inches. They're all around us.
I knew that was one of your favorite movies, but I mean, there's a reason why that movie's made. Because any given Sunday, anything could happen. These guys are all athletes trying their
Well,
hardest.
it's too bad
So
my name ain't Jack Rooney,
you got
but
Mahomes on one leg though, which is
the,
still
the great
better. Which is still better.
the
Yeah,
great hopping Mahomes. Good
the
for him.
Hobbit out there. But we'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
friggin' Kermit the Frog when he's talking.
Yeah, he does.
Jabbar,
Kermit, we had a great game out
Jabbar.
there. I think we had a great game. I played pretty good. I didn't want to come out.
Yeah, I guess can't with him, but he's a great quarterback. Probably the best in the league.
It's like Aaron Rodgers pre-snap. Green 18! Green 18! I'm like, I just want to jump through the screen and tackle him. Like, shut up. Can't you say green 18 like once in a while? Maybe go with green 2 or
I'm gonna have to
28 dive.
we're gonna have to do a show on that and see where he lands up.
Maybe I'll write him an email and ask him why he says green 18 more times in a game than anybody in the history of the league. But anyways, back to the focus at hand. So far, for your picks, you like Cincinnati and San Francisco.
I do.
And okay, so let's talk a little bit about San Francisco and how they got where they are. They obviously got down to their third string quarterback, lots of injuries all year long. People filtering in and out from practice squad and second and third strings, whatever. And they finally get somewhat healthy, mostly healthy. Purdy takes over and is playing well. And then you bring Christian McCaffrey in, who I thought would be hurt after the first game. He actually made it. He's hurt right now. He's got a right calf muscle issue. You take him out 50 percentage, performance wise. What do you like about San Francisco's offense? Let's say you're missing McCaffrey on Sunday.
No, he's gonna play. But if I was missing him, I still like our chances. I mean, the team is built from the line out, and this is why they can plug and play any quarterback they have. I mean,
So you're saying it's the Kyle Shanahan system. No matter who you plug in, they're going to win.
Yeah, and they have superstars at every position: cornerback, middle linebacker. On offense, you got Debo, you have Kittle, you have McCaffrey. I mean, in the locker room, you have all the right pieces at all the right positions to teach other players how to play the game. So San Francisco has done a great job with this roster. Um, Eagles too. They have great players on each side of the ball as well. I just think San Francisco is going to take this one. I'm a big Jalen Hurts fan. I'm glad that he has had the success he's had because I've been in his corner since they were trying to get rid of him. I think he has. He needed a little help. I'm glad they gave it to him, and he's playing very good. Brown, great receiver. But we'll see what happens. San Fran to me is just built different than all these teams, and if they were going to play the Bengals, let's say in the Super Bowl, I would take San Fran too. But we'll
Okay.
get to that next week.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about first of all who's going to get to the Super Bowl. So, all right, so you talked a little bit there about San Francisco's offense. Let's talk a little bit about their defense, or not their defense, these teams' special teams, because there's strong play in all four of these teams with their special teams, and it's been that way all year. It's been off and on a little bit, but it does stand out enough that they've been talking about it on these big networks that special teams is going to play a huge role as well. And everybody forgets that special teams does play a role. Field position, you know, is Brock Purdy starting off at the 40 instead of the 20 or 25? There's all different dynamics to it. But let's flip over to the Chiefs again and their offense. Aside from Patrick Mahomes hobbling it, do you really think that they're going to be able to get through the defense of Cincinnati the way they did in previous games where they just danced on people? Do you think with him hopping on one leg, do you think that that's going to help him get that laser pass into a open Kelsey like he usually does when he's healthy?
Yeah,
I think people are eliminating the fact that Patrick Mahomes is running around on a high ankle sprain and that's painful, and that's going to change the game. It's going to change his game.
very well could. I mean, we're going to have to see what we get out of him. Last week, right out of the gate, he runs for the first down, 8 yards, and looks fine. I know it's been a while. That injury does keep most of these players out. We'll see how bad it is. They call it a mild high ankle sprain. I mean, you could see he was in obvious pain. Yeah, I definitely think it affects the game, but it's still Patty Mahomes. And Patty Mahomes with one leg is better than most of the quarterbacks out there. So I don't know. I think he has some kind of Patty Mahomes magic. I think he'll be okay. Um, Obviously not 100%, but I think he'll be fine. I really do.
All
Unless he
right,
takes a big
I'll give
hit
you
or
that.
something and they knock him out. Yeah, I think he'll be okay.
I'll give you that. I'll let you have that one. It's definitely not the four teams that I would see back in August. I didn't suspect these four teams being in the finals. Now Kansas City I did see being in the mix, but I didn't see them being in the finals. I saw different teams. I didn't see San Francisco at all. I just didn't. I know people were powerhouse talking about them. I didn't see it, but here we are. We got the Niners and the Eagles. We got the Chiefs and the Bengals. You like Cincy, San Fran. I can't pick on the Cincy Chiefs game. That one's going to be hard for me because they're going to Arrowhead. It's not Buffalo. And I for the Eagles and the San Francisco 49ers, I want San Fran, but I know the Eagles will win that game. And it's going to be an easy win. I think they're going to just go in there and just romp them. Hurts is going to have one of his best games. And I can't see San Francisco defense keeping up with a Hurts because they haven't played anybody really to his caliber yet as far as the run and the different style of plays they call based on his running ability.
No, I agree. Hertz definitely makes that team way better. They definitely have the right play calls for that quarterback. He extends drives by his third down rushing abilities, able to get the first down. You watch a lot of their games, and they were missing that when he was out, not being able to extend drives, keep the drive going. That's exactly what he does. And that goal line rush where they have the two guys, three guys behind him pushing him in, you can't stop that. So
Yeah.
he is a really, and this is a copycat league. How come other teams have not been doing this? Why do we? I'm going to give you an example. We did this rush last
Oh,
game.
real quick, I want to say thanks for Brandon, Sherry, Kristen, and Annalise staying in the show. But go ahead, Tio. Continue.
All right, we do this last game, the Buffalo Bills. Who
Hmm.
who do they push Josh Allen with? Gabe Davis. Why are we doing that? You see the guys that push the Eagles guy. There's three huge guys. You can't stop that. He QB sneaks it in from the 1, 2, 3 every game. So he definitely makes the team way better, and it's going to be exciting because I like watching that guy.
Yeah, I mean they are fun to watch, and it's going to be definitely an interesting weekend to say the least. This is my favorite time of year. I know my Bills are out of it. We lost, but here in Buffalo, we're used to saying maybe next year. So, I'm moving on to next year. I'm ready. I'm excited about the team. Do I want a new offensive coordinator? Yeah. Ken Dorsey, you suck. If you're watching this anywhere, you suck. Okay. You're a horrible play caller. Okay. I would at least write my playbook in pen, not crayon, but that's just me. Um, I would make one switch maybe on the defensive line coaching side. And I think the rest of the team you kind of try to keep in place the best you can with the salary cap and all that. That's another show all on its own. But moving forward, Tio, you pick San Fran, you picked Cincinnati for the Super Bowl. I'm gonna go Philadelphia and Kansas City. I'm gonna take Kansas City in this one. Even though
Okay.
I want Cincinnati and I like Cincinnati, I think Kansas City at home. I know I said earlier that Mahomes is hurt, but they will have the coaching to put the plays in place that will work for him, that will make wounds in the defense. So Kansas City at home, they got Kelsey and they got Arrowhead. So I like Kansas City and Philadelphia in the Super Bowl. So we picked both different, and we'll see what
Yeah.
happens. And then that's what we picked for the Super Bowl. So anybody out there, if you want to come up and share your picks, you're more than welcome. We have a couple minutes left here before we wrap up and get ready for next week. If you want to share your picks on who you think will be in the Super Bowl, and then next week we're gonna talk about, okay, now who's in the Super Bowl and who's gonna win the Super Bowl. So if anyone wants to come up real quick, if not, Tio and I will wrap up for this week. We appreciate everybody coming in, listening. Thanks for everybody outside the studio that we can't see. Thanks for being here live. And most importantly, I want to just throw a shout out there to Fireside for all their support and assistance and helping me create something big here. So TO and me are going to be signing out. Next week we'll be here same time, Wednesday 6 p.m. talking about the Super Bowl and who's in it and who's going to win. So until next time, everybody, I'm Frankie J.